Hello my beautiful people and welcome back. Today I thought I would give a little update on how my kombucha leather is going. And if you don't know already, I'm doing my masters this year and I'm determining the acceptability of kombucha leather among South African consumers. And I haven't done an update in a while. The last video I've posted about kombucha leather was me initially growing kombucha SCOBY and then drying out my first sample, but a lot has changed since then. Well, not too much. So I thought I'd just give you guys a little bit of an update on how my SCOBY farm is going. So in terms of my SCOBY farm, it's been interesting. I have added another jar to my SCOBY farm, meaning that I've got 3 jars growing SCOBY. I've got my hotel, I've got my circular jar, and now I have a roasting pan. And you guys actually don't understand the smell that comes out of the pantry doors, and just even when the pantry doors are closed, the smell is quite something. It smells very vinegary, and that something has been fermenting for a very long time. So this is what my SCOBY hotel is looking like. I've moved you guys outside. I hope you can hear me with the wind. Put you outside with all the pots so you can have a much more better look to it, because the lighting's kind of bad in the kitchen. So this is what it is currently looking like. It's looking a bit grim. Like I said, this very white one at the top is our very mature SCOBY, and I'm not going to touch anything with it because she is growing really nicely, but these are the layers to my SCOBY. The more darker ones, as you can see, are more of my mature SCOBY, and the one at the very top is my young SCOBY. I already know we had my initial SCOBY that was grown in my SCOBY hotel that I took out to dry, and they all pretty much look the same. We still have the really raggedy looking ones, because these were just scraps that I was going to use to, dry out. So this is what it sounds like. Since these are kind of thin, they are a lot different to the stuff I have now. And then I decided to take a little bit of a thicker SCOBY, just a portion of it, and dry it out, which obviously resulted in something completely different. It's got a completely different texture to the original SCOBY that I initially dried. This is what it sounds like. After doing all of these practice runs, I decided to take one of the thickest and oldest SCOBY from my SCOBY hotel and dry it out. Obviously, I think you guys can assume what it would look like. And it produced this. All my friends think this looks like a piece of salami. This one is the strongest and thickest one I have dried out to date. This beautiful color and texture. In terms of sound and texture, this is what she does sound like. So she's got a bit more texture to her, and I actually did apply coconut oil to this. I think with coconut oil it just made it a bit more softer. It hasn't really done much else, but it is very interesting. Like, you can fold this like that, and then there's barely any fold marks that happen to it. If you really wanted to, you can make it into a ball, and then you're able to undo this. I don't know. So this is my second jar of SCOBY, which is looking relatively interesting. That's just the carbon dioxide, but you can clearly see there's a lot of layers going on. And that is definitely going to translate into a very thick SCOBY, but they're still very young because you can see how white they are, how young this SCOBY is. It's looking a bit strange, I know it does, but that's very, very fine with me. So like I said, the SCOBY is actually doing really well. There's lots of layers to it. So I'm just going to push this down a bit. They're growing really well, because I think this one's going to be a bit of a mega one. which is fine because I can always tear them apart to get multiple SCOBY from it. I think I might add a little bit of sugar to this. Overall, it's looking quite good. So with my second SCOBY jar, which is a lot bigger than my SCOBY hotel, I took one of the younger SCOBY out with a decent thickness, probably around a 3 centimeter thickness. You guys are probably not going to expect this one, but this is what the young SCOBY looks like. It is completely different to what mature SCOBY looks like once it is dried. Like, look at this comparison. This one is a lot more transparent than my mature SCOBY. This is the sound. This is what it looks like up close. You can see it is very translucent, and it performs exactly the same way as the mature SCOBY, where you can squish it in a ball and it just doesn't break. Like I said, it's kind of like beeswax fabric, where it just shrinks. Like, you can squish it into many things and then it just bounces back. This is completely different to what I've been producing so far. My last SCOBY jar, which is my roasting pan, I haven't checked on this in a while. So there's 3 layers going on. That's pretty cool. So this one has been producing my rectangular squared SCOBY, and it looks like it's doing quite well because I removed 2 layers and it seems like another 2 have grown from this. Always very nervous to open. I don't know why, but it's always been one that I'm so scared to look at and to see how it's going. So let's open this up and see how it looks from the top. Surprisingly, it's looking very nice. You can see it's starting to change a little bit of color. That's because I think it's getting a bit darker. But I think this one might need a little bit more sugar and water into it, and some tea. It's surprisingly not very bad. So I definitely feel like this one will need a little bit more water and tea, which I'll prepare off camera and add to it, but it's feeling very good. It's feeling very thick, and that's because it's got, damn you hardy does, that's because it's got 3 layers to it. Let me try and show you. 3 layers. Very nice, and they're all quite nice and thick. And that's an update on everything that's been going on. I decided to take out 1 SCOBY from my roasting pan. There was probably around 3 being produced in that. I took the first sheet, but there was actually 2 SCOBYs connected to one another, and I still took both of them out. One thing that happened is that I had remaining green dye on my wooden board, and I by mistakenly put my SCOBY on it. So there is green going on, and there's also a bit of a black line, and that is because I clipped it down with an iron clip, and it, don't know why, I don't know the science behind it, but it left like burn marks on it. So it's a bit strange, but this is what my rectangular SCOBY looks like dried. It's basically the same kind of, look as the circular SCOBY, because this was also really mature, so it makes sense why it is so pale and it is so see-through. It's kind of rough, this one. So these 2 sort of look similar. So that's my little update on how my kombucha leather is going. It's not much of an update. I've just grown and dried out a lot of more SCOBYs to look at the outcomes of leathers that I can get. Pretty much only the update I have at the moment in regards to how my SCOBY are doing and how my leather is doing. So if you guys like this video, if you have any tips on how to grow SCOBY faster, or any tips on how to, make better kombucha leather, please let me know in the comments. And if you're really interested in this topic, you can subscribe to my channel and see me carry on with my masters, because right now I'm not surviving with my masters, but it's fine. So yeah, guys, I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.